my brother Matt. My name is Nick Jackson, and you are watching the No Gimmicks podcast.
Well, you're listening to the No Gimmicks.
Well, you're listening.
It's a podcast. You listen to it.
Yeah, you get the point. Too sweet, me. Boom!
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Todd Smith here once again alongside my tag team partner Dale Clifford out there in Fernley, Nevada. And welcome to yet another episode of the No Gimmicks podcast. Dale, what is good, my man?
A little jealous right now, Todd. I see the shirt there and a little disappointed that mine hasn't come in the mail yet.
And if this gives you any indication, I'm going to go in close here where y'all can see. Warriors, 5-time NBA champs, best in the world. And guess what? Dale and I are going to be giving you our predictions for the upcoming ROH show, Best in the World 2017. So let's start here right at the top, Dale. First match on the card, we've got Search and Destroy. Alice Shelley, Chris Sabin, Jay White, and Jonathan Gresham taking on the Rebellion. Caprice Coleman, Kenny King, Red Titus, and Shane Taylor. Dale, who you got in this one?
You know what? I got to go with it won't be Search and Destroy. It's like I got to go with the Rebellion. Because it's the loser has to disband. It just makes sense right here that you end Search and Destroy. They were out to they were forming alliance to take down the Bullet Club. Mm-hmm. It just makes sense. It's like they're not a group that was built as a stable like the Rebellion is. So I just think that Search and Destroy is not going to win here and end up ending their alliance as Search and Destroy.
Yeah, I think for the same reasons, the Rebellion are just a very strong unit. They finally got all four of the guys on the same page. As we know, Kenny King was absent for a bit there as he was shooting the Bachelor, but we got Red Titus back in the picture. You know, Shane Taylor, who's kind of the enforcer of the group, he's actually been a good fit for them. And if you split up Search and Destroy, you still have both Jay White and Jonathan Gresham, who's really came along nicely since he's joined the ROH roster. And you got the Mercy and Machine Guns, who could hold their own as a tag team. I really think that those other four, though, the members of the Rebellion, they rely upon each other. I just don't see those guys doing as well enough if they have them split up and actually having solo careers in ROH. So, yeah, for the same reasons, I'm going to go with the Rebellion going over in this one, and Search and Destroy will be disbanded. So, coming up next here, we have Frankie Kazarian, the Heavy Metal Rebel, taking on Hangman Page in a strap match. Dale, what's your thoughts on this?
I know for a while I've been against Hangman Page, but I think right here, this is the moment I'm going to pick Hangman Page to take down Kazarian. I just think this is the match that's kind of built for him. He's been that bully type guy, the henchman for the Bullet Club, so it just feels like a strap match is the perfect chance for him to kind of notch a big victory as he kind of moves forward within the Bullet Club.
Yeah, I see the same result in this one too, Dale. I'm going to go with Hangman and Page to go over Frankie Kazarian. I just think he needs this win kind of to pick up some momentum. And as you said, he's already familiar with utilizing a weapon, which is kind of similar to the strap in the Hangman's noose. So, yeah, I think he's going to be victorious. And don't be surprised if that Hangman's noose somehow gets used throughout this match against Frankie Kazarian. So moving on here to our next match, from Best of the World 2017, we have the Kingdom, comprised of Matt Taven and Vinny Marseglia, taking on Ultimo Guerrero and El Terrible. Now, I'm assuming that both of these guys are from CMLL. I don't really know a whole lot about them. I have not recalled seeing much action. Dale, what's your thoughts on these guys here, and who's going to take the win in this one?
This is a tough one because I like the Kingdom as the three guys. Mm-hmm. But since TK O'Ryan is still out with the leg injury, I kind of feel like this might be a moment where we get the CMLL duo taking down the Kingdom, although the Kingdom could kind of use this as a win to establish themselves as the tag team too.
Okay, so I'm going to actually take the Kingdom in this one, and I also look for TK O'Ryan to somehow get involved. That crutch you know, I think it's going to be used more than just as a means to balance him. While he's only got one good will, I think one of those is going to get cracked over the heads of either Ultimo Guerrero or El Terrible. So there will definitely be some interference that will give the Kingdom the win in this one. Moving on here, we have got The last real man, Silas Young, taking on Jay Lethal. Dale, who you got in this one?
Oh, this is a tough one. The greatest first-generation superstar, Jay Lethal, or the last real man, Silas Young. I think Silas needs the victory a little bit more to kind of establish himself as becoming a main event guy, as opposed to Jay Lethal, who was the longest reigning ROH champion. So a loss doesn't really impact here, but a win is huge for Silas Young. So for that, I'm going to pick Silas Young here.
I, too, am picking Silas Young. Look for Silas to go over dirty with some assistance from the Beer City Bruiser. Is it the Beer City Bruiser or Beer City Brawler? What's his name? Bruiser,
Beer City
right?
Bruiser.
Yeah, I look for some assistance from him involved in this one here. Silas has got to get a big win on a pay-per-view. You know, Jay, like I said, he was on top for so long. You know, I almost think that they're kind of using him to kind of give Silas the rub and kind of help him get, you know, some wins on some of the major shows that they got going on here in ROH. So let's talk about the next match here. We've got, for the ROH World Six-Man Tag Team Championship, we've got Bully Ray and the Briscoes taking on Dalton Castle and the boys. Dale, who's your pick in this one?
Man, this one is tough. I hate going against Bully and the Briscoes, but there's just been so much effort to kind of put over Dalton Castle and the boys that they may get it done here. But I got to go with Bully and the Briscoes. Again, as I've stated numerous times, it's Bully Ray, one half of arguably the greatest tag team of all time in the Dudleys, and then the Briscoes, arguably the greatest ROH tag team of all time. So you put them together, and now you've got the greatest ROH six-man tag team of all time. So I just think that they're going to continue to win here to establish a long reign for those championships.
You know, and it's funny because I've noticed as of late, I've seen some almost semi-like heelish tactics utilized by the boys. Not so much by Dalton Castle, but by them to kind of help, you know, like kind of interfere in matches and stuff like that. I don't know if the win comes like against the Briscoes and Bully Ray. I think that would kind of be, you know, hot shine the titles off of them. I think they do need to hold on to those for a little bit longer. So yeah, I am going to choose Bully Ray and the Briscoes to go over in this one, but I would not be surprised if at some point in the near future those guys are able to grab a win over them. So the next match we have here, we have for the ROH World Tag Team Championship, we've got the Young Bucks Super Kick Party taking on War Machine, comprised of Hanson and Rowe. Who you got in this one, Dale?
Man, it is so hard for us to go against the guys that lead off every ROH show for us, the guys that gave us the endorsement. But, you know, at some point their tag team reigns are going to end. Obviously, it's like they did into the Hardys, then they got it back. But you got to figure at some point you're going to get a more mainstay tag team to take them down in War Machine. But is that even the case? Because I know that there had been rumors about how long War Machine was going to be in Ring of Honor. Yeah. So we know the Young Bucks aren't going anywhere. So maybe it is the Young Bucks again. I know we always keep doing it, but I just think we got to stay with the Young Bucks to retain here.
So correct me if I'm wrong here. Are Rowe and Hanson still the IWGP Tag Team Champions?
I can't remember offhand.
Okay, because I was going to say if they are, I'm not sure if they're going to have them holding dual titles. I'm not sure how much sense that would exactly make. So almost for that reason alone, I just think the Young Bucks are going to find some way to super kick themselves out of this one and remain on top as ROH Tag Team Champions. Moving on here, we've got for the ROH World Television Championship, we've got Kushida taking on Marty Scurll, the villain Marty Scurll. So Dale, who's your pick in this one?
Well, yeah, I was very surprised to realize that Kushida was now the ROH Television Champion when I had looked into this, and I was like, oh, well, because all along I was like, Marty Scurll was my pick as he continued to reign as ROH TV champion, but now he's trying to come get it back. Kushida's on a hell of a run right now. Obviously, he got the TV championship, but I still feel Scurll can use it now, especially since he moved into the Bullet Club. This really establishes him going forward in the Bullet Club as ROH TV champion, because you need championships just to kind of help your pedigree. Obviously, you've got the Young Bucks are the tag team champions, and Cody Rhodes is going for the World Championship, which we'll break down later. But that's just things like the amount of gold that the Bullet Club could have if Skrull wins and Cody Rhodes wins, and the Young Bucks retain. So I got to go Marty to get the title back here.
Okay, so let's take a second here and time out. We're going to rewind for a second. I'm going to correct myself on something which I had said from the previous prediction. War Machine is no longer the IWGP Tag Team Champions. They actually dropped those titles to the Guerrillas of Destiny.
Okay.
But I think, even with that being said, I still take the Young Bucks in that match. I think they're going to be victorious in that one. So getting back to the match at hand here, I'm going to take a look at this one and say, okay, so how long are they going to keep Kushida stateside to defend that ROH TV title? I think, just like you said, I think it was kind of like a transitional kind of thing. I think Marty Scurll is going to take the title back. With the Bullet Club being the top, stable in ROH, we look at it here. I'm going to look at the Young Bucks being the tag team champions, him being the TV champion. Now, I got another prediction coming later on for the main event, that's going to solidify them as one of not only the top stables in ROH, but the top stables in all of professional wrestling. So, yeah, I go with the villain in this one over Kushida. So, moving on here, we have got the main event, which is Christopher Daniels, who is the ROH World Heavyweight Champion, taking on the American Nightmare Cody. So, Dale, we got in the main event of Best in the World.
You know what? I think I got to go with the American Nightmare, Cody. I was wrong the first time that him and Christopher Daniels met up, but I believe that the title run is coming. It is time for him to take ROH to the next level with him being as the champion. Obviously, he's got the huge name because he was in WWE. He's a Rhodes, and it's time for ROH to kind of go in that direction. He gives them a huge name for the company. And again, Christopher Daniels, I never saw him being a long-term champion. Mm-hmm. I just thought that he deserved to be champion, but how long it was going to last, I didn't think it was going to be very long. And so I'm going to once again pick a Cody here.
Okay, so coming up here at the G1 special for New Japan that's going to take place in the United States, we're going to get Cody versus Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. I do not see Cody winning that match. I think Okada's going to hold on to it, and eventually he will actually drop the belt to Kenny Omega. So the other, leader for the Bullet Club over there in Japan. So with that being said, I don't think they could possibly have Cody go 0-2 and lose both world title matches. He's going to win this match against Christopher Daniels here. And as I, said, kind of retracting from what I had said a couple matches ago or so, I think at the end of the night, we will have the Young Bucks as the World Tag Team Champions, Marty Scurll as the TV champ, and Cody as the World Champ, solidifying the Bullet Club as the top stable in all of professional wrestling.
And, well, that would be the thing is, like, if Cody is the ROH champion going into that G1 with Okada, you have the IWGP champion versus the ROH World Heavyweight Champion. Huge match. It was like right there. So I absolutely agree 100%. It was like just to market that match is like because you've got New Japan and ROH and their merger, and then you've got the top two champions going one-on-one. So
yes. So I would say, this is going to be a hell of a show, no doubt. And me and you can definitely sit up here and talk about ROH and the best of the world all night long. But unfortunately, we have to go ahead and wrap up this episode. So thank you for tuning in to this episode of No Gimmicks Podcast. This has been our predictions for Best of the World 2017. We are No Gimmicks, No Image, all wrestling, all the time. Please subscribe to our official YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/The No Gimmicks Podcast. Please make sure that you subscribe publicly so that way we are aware of your support. Check out Craig Perkins' articles on ProWrestling.com. We would like to hear from our viewers, so please leave us some feedback in our comment section. Also, please like our Facebook and follow us on Twitter at The No Gimmicks PC. Remember, sharing is caring. Feel free to share the links to our episodes with other pro wrestling fans on your social media accounts as well. That does it for this episode of No Gimmicks Podcast. For my tag team partner Dale Clifford in Fernley, Nevada, this is Todd Smith in Bristol, Connecticut signing off. Until next time around, y'all take care.